Good afternoon. Today's presentation is going to be about grounded theory. To begin, we are going to define what grounded theory is. Grounded theory is a method to carry out a qualitative research. It involves the worldviews and also research concerns. Grounded theory studies people experience, social relationships, and behaviors to generate a theory or explanation to these social processes. The approach is inductive, which means that immersion is needed. The theory is generated only by data that is collected and not from data from other resources, such as textbooks or researcher opinions. Features of grounded theory. Some characteristics are that data collection and data analysis are constantly compared, so it can be classified into categories and analytic codes. Also, it's important not to have a pre-existing conceptualization, which refers to make assumptions. Theoretical sampling to define categories is when once the researcher has already collected and analyzed data, it's necessary to identify a gap that the researcher thinks that it's important to investigate or be explored deeper. Analytical memos are used between coding and writing to facilitate the classification of information, and the categories are developed through the data that it's collected. Carrying out a grounded theory study. The first step in conducting a grounded theory study is to identify the area of interest, then decide the analytical procedures and sampling strategies, and then to select a method to collect data. The most common method to collect this data is in-depth interviews using open-ended questions. The next stage is data collection. Data collection is directed by theoretical sampling, by recruiting participants who have gone through the process of interest or people that have experience on the issue that it's being investigated. Here we have three stages. The stage one is open sampling, where individuals, objects, or documents are identified to review the data relevance. In stage two, the variational sampling is often employed to find data that helps to confirm the relationship between categories or if it limits their applicability. In the last stage, stage three, it involves the discrimination of samples to verify the core category and also the theory. Some tools to collect data are interviews. The most common tool is interviews, which are conducted until saturation. Usually from 20 to 30 interviews are used, or even more, and they are open-ended. Another tools that we can use are focus groups, questionnaires, surveys, government reports, blogs and videos, gray literature, and also transcripts. Some characteristics of data collection are that data collection and analysis are combined. Also, data is when data that is firstly gathered is used to keep collecting more data, and also it increases insights and clarify the parameters of the emerging theory. The next step is data analysis, and here we have 4 stages. The first one is initial coding, and it's connected with the second stage, which is focus coding. Here, the information is constantly compared to verify if all data fit into the specific category. The third one is actual coding. In this stage, the researcher uses the codes and memos to show more precise explanations to questions like when, where, why, who, and how in order to guide the experience in a more complete way. The fourth stage is theoretical coding, where once again the categories are compared, but in a more complex level to redefine theoretical connections, and to do so, diagrams, conceptual maps, or conditional matrices are used to show integration of ideas. Then the coding categories need to be linked together in theoretical models around the core or the central category. Finally, the complete theory is generated through the integration of analytical memos. To conclude this presentation, it's important to highlight the significance of grounded theory methodology with aspects such as that it provides explicit sequential guidelines for conducting qualitative research. Also, it offers specific strategies for handling the analytic phases of inquiry, as well as it streamlines and integrates data collection and analysis. And it also legitimizes qualitative research as scientific inquiry. Thank you.